Hello and welcome to DSR. I'm Zoe and this is the Yamaha MT-09. This is my first ride back after surgery, so obviously pretty excited. And what better bike to choose than an upgrade to my ride, the MT-07. Oh, fresh air in the mesh. I feel less of a monster now. That's getting very aggy back there. I got loads of videos on the MT-07, so if you are interested then they are already on the channel. Also, I will be doing a comparison between my bike and the MT-09 as to whether it's a good upgrade or not. And if you're interested in that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell and you'll know exactly when it drops. Come on, it must be green. Getting some serious heat on my legs here. Let's get into this bike then, and first off, shorties, where are you? I have an inseam of 29 inches, and if I'm honest, that's might be a little generous, so I can understand getting intimidated by bigger bikes. And the MT-09 is a bigger bike. Seat height of this is 825mm. Definitely not flat-footed. I can tiptoe either side, but I think probably what's more intimidating is the size of the tank in front of you. It's only a 14-litre tank, but it looks pretty colossal when you sit on the bike. The wet weight is 189 kilograms, so it doesn't cause too much stress there. I can definitely move it about. I don't feel like I'm going to drop the bike. I do struggle with the side stand though. Yeah, I certainly struggle with that side stand a little bit, just sweeping it down. Sweeping up isn't too bad, but trying to get it down, I feel like I'm trying to balance and not doing a particularly good job on it. That being said, this bike shouldn't intimidate you if you are a short rider like me. It's definitely doable. In terms of that seating position, it's hyper naked, you're upright, which does mean the pressure kind of goes through your lower back. The seat seems a little bit, I don't know, it feels quite pronounced in its tilt, which means I can already feel that pressure in my lower spine. Not to mention the seat, like all the MT range is solid and had a lot of cushioning. Cushion. Yeah. Oh, that shade's better. As you can see, I'm out with Matt. He's got some company for the day. He is on the Tracer 9 GT. Don't forget to give that video a check too. He was hoping to take out the GT Plus, but it's not quite ready yet. The lovely people at Branson's are getting loads of bikes ready for customers, so understandably we fall down the pecking order, rightly so. Both of these bikes are from Branson's today, so as always a huge thanks to them. Combination of gravel and not quite comfortable with how my feet don't touch the floor, plus then some quite aggressive braking. I've noticed that already. Totally Matt's cup of tea, definitely not mine. I like smooth. Whilst we've come to a stop, have a little look at the miniature 3.5-inch TFT in front of me. Quite a lot going on, lots of abbreviations. We'll go through that in detail. This bike is packed full of rider aids, lean sensitive rider aids as well. Sounds pretty good for a stock exhaust. I don't know if you noticed, but it doesn't really have an exhaust. It's like tucked under and hidden, which I mean I'm not too fussed about because I think most exhausts look hideous anyway. But by tucking it under, I mean they have just like a big chunk of metal welded to the bottom of the bike. But on the plus side, sounds pretty good. The engine is the triple, so the MT-07 is your parallel twin, the MT-09 is the triple, and then the MT-10 is the cross plane. It's your inline 4, but it fires in a different sequence, hence the cross plane. Parallel twins, not really renowned for being too exciting. I found the MT-07 in the last year pretty lacking. I thoroughly enjoyed the parallel twin and the Hornet though, so parallel twins can be exciting. But given this is a triple, I am expecting a load more character. As with all the MT range, all built on torque. You get going pretty quickly off the mark. I do find it a little bit snatchy. It's not, you can't really roll on, roll off. It drags if you try and control it too much. You just kind of have to commit and go to it. Not really my style of riding. On the plus side, it's definitely definitely livelier than what I'm used to. Throw yourself into neutral, why don't you, Zoe? As I said briefly before, yeah, the bike moves, but the brakes are sharp. For all the aggression from the acceleration, the quick shifter is surprisingly smooth, both up and down. Honestly, I could not tell you what these modes are. What have we got? Got D mode. Oh, that changes that over. Oh, this is definitely a one to do off the bike. Lovely handling, as you'd expect from this lineup. Handles beautifully in the corners, drops in really nicely, loads of grip from the S22 Bridgestones. Oh, he's a good partner, isn't he? Look at him, waiting for me. At slow speeds, I'm getting a little bit of feedback through the handlebars, through the seat. A little vibey, but not really noticeable when you're going around the twisties, etc. Those observant about you will realise these aren't the new colours. This is a 22 plate. Nothing's changed other than the colours. I definitely prefer the dark blue. They started using that turquoise on the wheels. Not a big fan, unless you go for the black version, obviously. Black kitted out, that looks pretty cool. Not great on photographs, but definitely Batman-esque. There's the ugly light. Oh look, horn just thrown on the front. And there's that chunk of metal underneath. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the exhaust. Like an MT-07 on steroids. That's what it feels like. That's what it looks like. As you can see, Branson's have put a couple of extras on. Got the tank pads, the grips. These are quite nice, little guards. Also got the smoke screen at the front. Shame they didn't throw a comfort seat on. A little time off the bike, a little time off the camera, struggling to get back used to it. But we have taken a little pause because it is a hot day, seeking a little bit of shade, but good chance to show you around the MT-09. So for the 890cc triple cylinder engine of the MT-09, you are paying £9,400. It has crept up over the last couple of years. It was sub 9 to begin with. Hey, inflation affects all. What you do get with this bike is a very high-tech and vast electronic package, I think is the best way to describe it. Now we're off the bike, I'll show you through those modes. I'll do my best. It is a little screen. It's only 3.5 inches. The new MT-07 has got a 5-inch TFT dash, so I assume when the MT-09 has an upgrade, they will increase the size of that. It's okay, it is pretty clear, but it does have a lot of tech on it, so it's kind of crammed all into this bottom section, as you can see. As you're riding, the two quick kind of modes you can change are the drive mode and the traction control. It's over here on the left hand side. You click your mode, so at the moment If I change it over, drive mode is central, and then I can flick through. So as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is, well, 1 and 2 are kind of your sportier modes, 1 obviously being the peak. 3, that throttle response is just eased off a little bit easier to handle. And 4 kind of classes as a bit of beginner's mode. If you're trying to get used to the bike, if you're a little bit uncomfortable because of the height, or just because it's a bigger engine than you're used to, then 4 is definitely the rider mode you want to be in. Yeah, that mode 4 there, that cuts the peak power, so a lot easier to handle. If we change over to the traction control, TCS mode, you've got 1, 2, and then you've got manual. And that all refers to, if I move over to the settings, which is on a different dial altogether, on the right hand side, you've got the menu. So use the jog wheel to move down, push in for the settings, click down onto the manual TCS setting, and this is where it changes. So you've got traction control, slide control, and then you've got lift. So at the moment this manual, for instance, is in the highest for traction, slide, and then got the lift off. It's not overly easy to use this, so jog wheel changes between the 2 displays you can see here, and then the settings. You then have to click in. Bit easier when you've got gloves on, maybe it doesn't hurt as much, but you've then got to click in to get then onto the menu, and then each one, if you want to get onto it, you have to click in again. So modes 1 and 2 change those 3 variables. 1, you're going to get the most, 2, you're going to get the dull down, 3 is your manual, and obviously you go into that settings and you can alter each one depending on what you're comfortable with. On top of that, you then go back into the settings. You've got the vehicle setting, so you can change the brake control, set 2 at the moment, so that's going to be how much engine braking you've got. Personally, I'm not a big fan of too much engine braking. I like to be in control of everything as I'm riding. You can also turn off the quick shifter, up and down, turn it off going up, turn it off going down, whichever you fancy. So I'm just going to keep them both on. After 30 minutes on this bike then, I've got a fairly good impression of how I'm feeling on it. It does feel quite big as a bit of a shorty. Power delivery is quite snatchy as well. It's definitely not a beginner's bike, that's for sure. I think if you're new into the riding world, I think you'd want to give yourself a little bit more time. Equally, you can put it into mode 4 and you can probably progress from there anyway. I definitely feel more comfortable on it now than I did a couple of years ago. I rode it not long after I'd passed my test, and it did feel then a little bit too aggressive. It hasn't changed, so obviously my opinion is completely factored in on the fact that I've got a little bit more experience and I feel a little bit more comfortable on the bike. The height, 825 seat height, is quite tall. As I said, the tank feels quite wide between my legs, and I believe they've made that smaller compared to kind of the pre-2020, kind of the Gen 2 version. All in all, I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying being back on a bike more than anything. Would I pick this to kind of upgrade my MT-07? Probably not. It's got a lot of tech on it. I don't know how usable all that tech is, if I'm honest. That's a lot of modes you can change, a lot of variables. I think it's great if you're a little bit unsure, and it's something you can definitely work your way into, but otherwise I'm not really sure I see the full utility of it. 9,500, it's not bad. It's not a bad price. It has gone up, as I said, but overall compared to similar bikes on the market, it's actually, sadly, it's not that bad. If I'm completely honest, the looks of the MT-09 don't really appeal to me. Perhaps it's just a little too similar to my MT-07. Now I'm all warmed up though, gonna get back out onto the bike and see how she really handles. Oh my days, right, this is the problem. When you're a shorty and you park on a slope, whee! I'm just like, I'm not even tippy toes. I'm like a ballerina on point. don't want you to think I'm hating on this bike. I think my problem is owning an MT-07. I directly compare it to that, thinking, is it enough of an upgrade? Are there enough things that make it different that I'd want to ride it instead of my MT-07? Of course, huge upgrade in terms of power, brake horsepower. This is 117. You know, you're moving up in the world. Equally, an MT-10, I hate to confess, is kind of just a bit big for me. I'd really have to look into some lowering options for the MT-10, which is fine, but I've not ridden one because those lowering options just aren't available. I think the MT-09 is an excellent bike. I think it still sits at a pretty good price range for how much it's got on it. The tech is very impressive. Impeccable handling, brakes are sharp, suspension is pretty good. As I said, in wide mode. Problem with the tech is, yes, it's got a lot on it, but once you've picked how you actually want to ride, well, I mean, that's it really. I know you could say that to most bikes maybe, but I don't know, what tech would I want to see on it? It hasn't got cruise control. The SP does come with cruise control. Cruise would be nice. In truth, had I bought this instead of the MT-07, I could have whacked it into rider mode 4, gotten used to the power, gotten used to the slight snatchiness, obviously changed the engine brake into what is comfortable for me. I don't think I'd be ready to change from it. So I'd have got a bit more longevity from a bike. MT-07, I'm definitely ready for an upgrade. This engine does have a lot more character. Clearly it's got more power. This has been a great bike choice, just to clear a few cobwebs out after, gosh, what, 3 months of not riding. It's been nice to get into the summer gear, get that mesh jacket on. Thanks so much for joining me on this review. This has been the Yamaha MT-09. If you do like it, then please thumbs up, that would be much appreciated. Equally, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. There are plenty of videos already there and loads to look forward to. In the meantime, ride safe. Oh honey, get a move on. Oh, he's doing claps and everything. Proper monged it and forgotten it. Stop it. Fucking pissing me off already. Okay, he's not. Okay, stop banging off, Zoe.